Okay, people, here I am again. It's been a while, I know. It's been a long while, and I decided to come out of the mothballs, so to speak, and impart some of Thunder's famous wisdom, or not wisdom, whatever. Um, there's a lot going on, people, since the last time I talked to you, with my personal life and with the world at large. World at large has kind of gone exactly where I said it was going. Going in the direction of the circular motion of going down the tubes, down the drain. I'm making this video because I felt compelled to do so on a lot of different levels. First of all, I wanted to address this current situation. And I hate even saying this name, the coronavirus, okay? I can see where this is going, and I wanted to warn people that this is kind of like the haymaker of the deep state or the people that are in control. This is their coup de grace, okay? Uh, but there might even be worse yet to come. But I'm going to talk about 9/11 in conjunction with the coronavirus because they're the same thing. Okay, they're the same thing. 9/11 was a false flag. It was instituted by our government to control people. Okay, and I've said this in videos before. Now we have the coronavirus, or how about C-911, because it's the same freaking thing, okay? I'm going to tell you right now that this is a tactic that is being used by the dark ones, the evil ones, the ones that are, you can call them whatever you want to call them, but there's a battle going on here, okay, between two factions. And those two factions are the light faction and the dark faction. That's what we'll call them. We'll call them the light faction and the dark faction. And this has been going on a long, long time, okay? And things are coming to a point now, okay, where either destruction is imminent, or let's put it this way, destruction of a third dimensional reality emerging, okay, like I've always said, emerging into a fourth dimension, but the Hopi would say from the fourth world to the fifth world, okay? You need to pay attention to this because people, if you're panicking about this virus and about what they're laying on us, you need to rise above it, okay? You need to turn up that frequency up here, okay? You need to turn it up to a very high degree and tune it, okay, beyond the realms of what you're seeing, because what you're seeing is an illusion. It's an illusion. And we all know, those of you who have followed me, that the world is an illusion. The Hindu call it Maya, okay? And all great philosophies going way, way back will say the same thing. In fact, the Hindu actually got their teachings and most of the teachings that we know today on, like, say, from the mystery schools and religions or whatever, goes way, 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 way back. Okay, that's another thing I'm going to talk about in a minute. But it goes back to ancient Egypt and even before civilizations before that, Sumeria, Atlantis, Lemuria. Uh, it goes way back. Okay. And these battles of light and dark go way, way back, and it's ramping up now, okay, to a high pitch. And what you have to realize is that you can't buy into the illusion, the ILL illusion, because you will become ill if you buy into this. And there's people out there that on the alternative media, let's say, and everywhere that I've just totally lost respect for, because they're all buying into this pandemic like it's a real deal. Okay, it's not a real deal. And even if it was, okay, it was created. You have to realize that. Even if this is a pandemic and it's some badass virus that's going to, annihilate a good deal of mankind, don't you think that was planned? I've talked about this all along. Don't you think that was planned? Don't you think that this has been in the making for a long, long time? And that's why I say it's like 9/11, because 9/11 was a hoax. 9/11 was a mass manipulation based on problem, reaction, solution. Create a problem, watch what the reaction is, sheer utter shock and panic, and offer solutions. They did that with 9/11. They offered us the Patriot Act. They offered us the Department of Homeland Security. They offered us a lot of things that looked good at the time because everybody was panicked out and thought, "Oh, whoa, that'll protect us from terrorism." But it didn't. It made things worse. Okay. Now there's some things here that I'm going to tell you. Okay, that you really have to pay attention to. You really do have to pay attention to what I'm saying here. They had several agendas for creating this so-called pandemic, okay? And they're fulfilling those agendas as we speak, okay? Because when organizations like the World Health Organization, WHO, comes out and says, "Oh, well, we need to get rid of money because money is a bad thing because it can spread this." Hello? If you got half a brain, you're not going to buy into that, because you're going to realize the World Health Organization and let's say the financial organizations, more or less the deep state, or more or less the people that are running the show, or more or less the New World Order people, whatever you want to call them, the dark ones. I'm just going to call them the dark ones, okay? Because they're opposed to light. They've been wanting to get rid of money for a long time. They've been wanting to crash the financial system for a long time. Now, they're really going to mess up Donald Trump's show with this one, aren't they? Because he was elected, his main thing is, "Oh, I'm going to make America great again, and I'm going to fix the economy." And they were dummying it up there and all these good numbers, yeah, the economy's improving and all this shit that you hear. What a perfect thing to do to hurt him. Or it may not even be about hurting him. It may be that he is part of it, okay? And most likely he is, okay? I hate to pop anybody's bubble out there, but Trump is in there as some have said a placebo, or he's in there to fulfill a role. He's in there to fulfill the role of the bad guy, like, the good cop and the bad cop. He's in there to fulfill that role so that he looks like a good guy, okay? But he's just staving off this huge insurrection from, let's say, the right, or those people on the right. He's staving off maybe some action that they might have taken had he not been elected, okay? So basically he's probably in with them. He's probably they probably said, "Hey, Donald, why don't you run for president, and we'll make you out to be the bad guy, and we'll start persecuting you and laying all kinds of bad trips on your head, and you're just going to sit there and do nothing until finally we get to the point where we're going to pull this little financial crash thing here. But don't worry, because we'll reimburse you for that, and we'll appreciate your cooperation. Or if you don't cooperate, well, there's always your family, isn't there? There's always your family that we can mess with. Okay, we can do harm to. So whatever is going down here, dear old Donald Trump has no control over this whatsoever. So don't sit around waiting for Donald or the government or the politicians or the attorney generals or any of those people to save your ass, okay? Because that isn't going to happen. Or save the country's ass or save the world's ass. It's not going to happen, people. Now I'm going to jump over here a little bit to what I was talking about before about ancient civilizations, how it ties into this, okay? Been doing a lot of research about things that I was aware of, let's put it this way, that things that I was aware of that show up in, like, let's say, Native American mythology and philosophy, Egyptian philosophy, all kinds of different mystery schools, hidden knowledge, philosophies. I've been doing a lot of research, okay. And I am finally realizing that most of the world's religions, okay, most of the world's religions and most of the world's, let's say, even the mystery schools, the ancient teachings, the Buddhist schools, the Hindu schools, are all going way back, way back, and I'm talking about maybe 30,000 BCE, okay, 30,000 years, okay, before the supposed birth of Christ. Now, this ties in with a book that you might be interested in reading that I found very interesting, called The 12th Planet by Zachariah Sitchin, a Russian author. And he speaks about the Anunnaki, and I know a lot of you people out there probably have heard this, and about the races, the gods of the Sumerians, okay. And all this stuff is, if you read Zachariah Sitchin's The 12th Planet, again, I want to emphasize that title, you will find out, okay, that through his reading of the cuneiform tablets of ancient Sumeria, much of the stuff that you thought was true in the Bible, okay, or was in the Bible that you thought was originating with the Bible, let's say like the story of the flood, the story of Adam and Eve, all those early books supposedly written by Moses, okay, stole most of their stuff from the ancient Sumerian cuneiform tablets. Now, bear with me here. I know this stuff is deep. These were all stolen from these ancient cuneiform tablets that described events prior, okay, to the Bible, and described events of ancient happenings and ancient civilizations, okay, and the fall of civilizations, and the interaction, okay, with other planets and beings on those planets, okay, were spelled out specifically. And so it all relates to the creation myth in the Bible. It relates to the flood in the Bible. It relates to the Adam and Eve myth in the Bible. Okay. All of these were taken, all of these stories were taken from the ancient Sumerians. And if you want to take it one step further, nothing that you know about on this level, okay, biblical, or let's say the Upanishads or the Bhagavad Gita or any sacred scriptures, nothing that is in there is new. It's old ancient stuff, and it's actually from the land of Egypt. Okay, the land of Egypt is the mother and the birth of mostly all enlightened thinking. Okay, enlightened thinking. Okay, it goes way back then. And there's even thoughts about that Christ, okay, was from that area, or at least, at the very least, ventured into that area to learn much of the, let's put it this way, the techniques for raising the mind to what we call cosmic consciousness, or the high consciousness, or oneness with the all, or oneness with, you can call it God. But whatever you want to call it, it is the creative mind, okay? It is the creative mind that thought things into existence. So how is this related to what I said earlier about, the 9/11 and the coronavirus and all that stuff? Well, here's how it's connected. A long time ago, probably around the time of ancient Sumeria, mankind changed drastically. He went from a Cro-Magnon man, okay, who couldn't even make a wheel, let's say. He went from that kind of a being, okay, to in that area, in that ancient Sumerian area somewhere, he went to being very advanced in technology. He even looked different, okay. And it happened like that. So before that, we have millions and millions of years of man supposedly evolving to this point where he hasn't even made Cro-Magnon man, yet in a flash of a few decades, okay, I mean an infinitely small flash, okay, in comparison to what went before, man all of a sudden, boom, like that, he became enlightened to the degree of technology, far advanced technology. And if you read some of these Sumerian uh, inventions, and if you read about some of the sky chariots, okay, and if you read about some of the gods supposedly who came in with these sky chariots, okay, much to the similarity of like what the people in the Southwest, the Hopis and the Apaches and the Anasazi people talked about, okay. Here's the correlation, okay, here's the correlation. There was a battle going on back then. And this battle has been going on a long time, okay? And those people that came down here during the Sumerian culture changed the DNA of mankind. They changed the DNA, okay? They changed our DNA. They made us from a lower, non-thinking, almost like animal-like type person into a far advanced intellectual person, only they didn't give us immortality. They held that back from us, okay? And at that ensuing time back then, there were battles going on between gods, okay? And one was named Enlil and one was named Enki, Okay, and it was going on way, way, way back then for control of the atmosphere of the earth, okay, and for doing mining and for making slaves out of mankind, okay. Now, are there benevolent and malevolent factions here? Well, yes, there is, okay. And then beyond that, let's not forget we still have the creator and the creative mind who created it all, okay. But it's good to know that civilization is not where you thought it originated from. Okay. That's what you got to take away from this. And what else do you have to take away with this, from this? Well, here's something you can take away. All of the stuff that's going on now, this virus, 9/11, the wars, the ramping up of the intensity of all of this stuff, is a battle between the benevolent and the malevolent. Is it those beings that went off on their planet, had their own planet all the time, and are due to come back? Is there alien technology involved in our government, and are we in collusion with these particular star brothers and sisters? Are some good? Are some bad? Well, see, that's some of the stuff that I've been researching, okay, and I've been looking deeper into, okay. But what you got to take away from this is that whatever is happening now is all related to this. You know, it's not down there on the mundane level of like the religionists want you to believe. Okay, they want you to believe that this is Satan and this is God and that they're battling, uh, and that Christ is going to come down in the form of an angelic being or whatever, and bring an end, and there's going to be doom and gloom. And well, yeah, there's doom and gloom now, people. You don't have to wait for it, okay? All this is happening within this illusion, okay, that I talked about earlier. Now, I know I'm laying a lot of stuff on your head. You can rewind this video. I'm letting spirit speak through me, and so yeah, I'm jumping around a little, but it all coalesces into one thing, okay? It all coalesces. That this battle is going on between lightness and darkness, okay? And the only way, and this is all in a certain dimension here, okay? This is in a lower third dimension. This isn't in a fourth dimension, like I mentioned earlier. This isn't in a fifth dimension. This isn't on a high frequency level. This is all happening down here in this lower frequency. Why? Because these evil people know how to use these laws against you. Okay. They know how to use these lower third dimensional laws while they purportedly play God. Okay. Now, you have to buckle down right now, people, and realize one thing, that the only way that you're going to escape, the only way that you're going to come out unharmed is through self-realization. Okay. Realizing your oneness with the Creator, realizing your oneness with all that is. Okay. And as soon as you realize what the enlightened masters were trying to say, Buddha, Jesus, many others, okay, the avatars, when you realize what they were trying to say about how you have to raise your consciousness, okay, to this level of Christ consciousness, okay, and connect with that grid, okay, and elevate yourself to the fourth dimension, then you're going to realize through your thinking, you're going to realize that this whole thing that surrounds you, your body, the people around you, your so-called loved ones, your neighbors, the house you live in, everything is vibrational energy. Okay, it's vibrating energy, and it's an illusion. It's a dream. It's like when you go to sleep at night and you have a dream. It's as real to you as can be, isn't it? I mean, when you're in that dream, you're thinking, "Oh man, that big snake's going to get me," or whatever. Excuse me. But when you wake up, you realize, "Oh no, that was all." Well, it's the same thing with life, people. It's the same thing with life. It's hard to keep that consciousness, I know, because things seem so real, so hard, so solid, but they're not. Okay, it's all a dream. So when you raise your consciousness up, and you should seek that, just seeking it, okay, will put you in a good space. Just seeking it will help you to escape harm, okay? And sharing that with others and having the right heart space, okay, the right heart space. That's why it's so important to listen to the ascended masters. It's so important to delve into the hidden teachings, okay, of the Egyptians for one. Uh, been doing a lot of study on that level, and they knew all about these things. And if you really want to know about a main man in that ancient Egyptian philosophy or religion or belief system, whatever you want to call it, you might want to start paying attention to the god Thoth, okay, Thoth, who was later known as Hermes. He was called Hermes the thrice great by the Greeks, okay, 3 times great. And he was the one that brought major enlightenment to the Egyptians, okay. And this all has to do with like the building of the pyramids, okay, and how they did that, which they still can't explain. They still refused. Oh yeah, they put these 200-ton bricks, okay, or giant boulders or whatever on little logs and rolled them, and they put them into place perfectly so that you can't even put a piece of paper in between them. No, people, that was done with mental powers, okay? Either mental powers or the advanced technology that they had at that time. And this was done many thousands of years before these archaeologists and these creationists, okay, uh, want to say they. Can you believe that these people don't want to date anything further back than 6,000 years ago? You want to talk about infantile, okay? You want to talk about lack of brain power, lack of consciousness. So I might be doing some more videos, and I might be talking about this stuff some more because I think it's important. It helped me go through a major process in my life. Let's put it this way: an ascending process, transcending the duality, transcending the illusion, okay, the vibratory show that's going on by us seeing, okay, certain things that we've been programmed to see, okay, us seeing on a certain dimensional level that we've been programmed to remain in. But you don't have to remain there. You don't have to remain there. You can rise above this stuff, people. And it's very important that you listen to me, and it's very important that you get this. This is not thunder speaking science fiction here. This is not thunder off on a wild tangent, okay? This is thunder dispensing information to you that is critically important, okay? And if you think that this pandemic, which isn't really one, so don't worry about it. If you think that that's, you know what you have to worry about with this? I'll tell you what you have to worry about: other people. You have to worry about the masses panicking and causing mass chaos over something that isn't even real. Okay? That's how adept these evil ones are at tricking people. That's what you have to realize. Okay? You do not need to fall into this trap that they're laying on you. You do not need to do that. There's a way that you can bypass this, and it's right here, right here. And know this, you can be one with the creative energy. You're safe. You know, all this stuff was just thought into being by this creative energy. It was just thought into being, okay? And so you're safe because you're part of the creator's mind. And if you disappear, if a nuke comes down and makes you into atomizes you, you wouldn't even need to fear that. You know why? Because the soul, the spirit, okay, goes on forever. It is one with God, okay? It is immortal. So what you have to realize is that the only thing that you're really fearing is going to somewhere that you don't know about, the unknown, okay? Um, you need to get over that, okay? And you need to get over worrying about mankind in general. Send love from the heart. Keep your heart centered in love, okay? Um, that's the main thing. Do a lot of meditation. Do a lot of breathing. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that I've taught you people techniques in the past. Um, breathing techniques, tantra techniques, yoga techniques. Um, many times I have presented these ideas and techniques to you. But now it's very important, okay, that you dig deeper and deeper, that you draw closer and closer to spirit and to spirituality, okay, and not worry so much about what's happening here in this illusion, okay, because you will survive this on one way or another. Now, let's say if you happen to be caught in some maelstrom where you don't survive. Well, you can still survive because you have this. You're seeing with the one eye, okay, the third eye, okay. And even if something was chaotic was to happen to the world, other dimensions would open up to you, and you would still be you, okay, and you would still uh, have your personality and your spirit and everything, okay? But you would have just transcended into another dimension, just like the Hopi talk about, okay? And just like enlightened masters talk about. The thing is, transcend now. Don't wait until that time when you know you have to do it. It's forced upon you, okay, by by things that are happening, okay? Don't wait until that time. Raise your consciousness now. Strengthen your aura. Strengthen your light body. There's a lot of techniques, okay, that I haven't shown you, okay, in the past that are available for you to do that, okay? And so I suggest that you research things like the Merkaba, the light body, or in Jewish terms, it was called, in mystical terms, it was called the Merkava, okay? But there's the Merkaba, the light body meditation, where you can strengthen your own little aura and your own little spaceship around you so that you're always protected. There's many deep meditations and many practices and much knowledge and wisdom that is available to you if you look for it, okay? It's hidden. It's not apparent to the masses. And yes, they do call it a cult. It isn't bad, okay? It's a good thing. It's just hidden from the masses. Why? because you have to be a spiritual seeker, and the creative mind, the all, okay, has to will realize that you're a spiritual seeker, and you'll be protected. Okay, you'll be protected on some some high level that you know nothing about. So I would suggest getting that book, The 12th Planet. I would suggest getting the Kalbayan, okay, Kybalion, uh, which is the teachings of Hermes, or Hermetic teachings. I would suggest getting all the information that you can about these other modalities, these other beliefs, these other teachings, other than the low religious dogma and lies that have been laid upon you so that you can be controlled. Okay, well, I can see that people's eyes are glazing over now. No, but really, I wanted to come on and say these things because it's been a while, and it's been a while since you had a dose of thunder, and so I'm going to put this out there and let people ponder on it. And I may be back. It's been a long time. I may be back. Don't count on it, but I might be back to impart some more information about the things that I've been talking about. So I'll leave it there and say Amen Ra. Incidentally, the word Amen comes from Amen Ra, the Egyptian god.